about you, but I think this is one of the saddest stories of the week. A story out of Laval, 100 families who've fallen victim to a shady real estate developer. Not only will they not be getting their dream homes, but they've lost all the money they've put into those homes. And our next guest is one of those victims. He's here to tell us his story. Mohammad Saeed joins us on the line. Mohammad, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No problem, sir. Thank you for having me on your show.
First thing is first, Mohammad, why don't you tell our listeners about yourself, about your family, about your story over the last few years?
Like, my story is that, over past 10 to 15 years, I have been working 60 to 70 hours a week, making a lot of sacrifices, making my family, my kids sacrifice, a lot. Just believing someday all that sacrifices, that hard work is going to pay off. And now all of a sudden, in a flash, everything disappears. All the dreams are shattered.
Working 60 to 70 hours a week. And this is, you're working that hard because you were saving money to make a better future for your family, right?
Yes, of course, make better future for your family, you know what I mean? And now it's unbelievable, and still I wonder sometimes, did it really happen, And it's not just that, it's my kids' future is on the line because we had plans, we had dreams, we had plans for their education that this is what we're going to do, So it's not just end there. I had old parents, sick parents. I thought I'm going to have a bigger home and I'm going to be able to accommodate them, and we're going to have a choice, I'll be able to take care of them. And now, we do not really know, what we're going to do,
So, and we know that the real estate market has been so crazy. The prices of homes have been skyrocketing. I guess this leads to circumstances where some people feel they can take advantage of others. Mohammad, tell me about your search to get that dream home for your family, how you ended up finding this developer, and tell me about the money that has been lost here.
Yes, it's been past couple years, and especially last year, everyone knows what happened in the real estate. The prices increased a lot, and since couple of years, especially last year, losing out to higher bidders, and finally we come across this builder who was building new homes, and we went to his place. We actually went there 4 times, and then finally we decided we're going to go ahead because they were telling us that all the good things that how successful their business is, and they're working with big banks, and then they showed us some land, and then we finally come to a point that where we decided, okay, we're going to go ahead, we're going to sign the contract. And then they offered us some discounts. They said if you bring us large deposit, and you can have a discount. And they were telling us that we have clients that they bring they would pay everything upfront now, and they would get big discounts. You know what I mean? This is how this is the ploy they were using.
So they were pressuring you to pay a higher down payment, prepay more of the amount of the home, and with the promise that this will actually save you money because we'll lower the cost of the home if you pay more now.
Exactly. That's what happened. Yeah, they were telling you that you come up with more money now, and you're gonna be saving a lot. And
how much money did you?
I deposited 200,000, and now I'm left with nothing in my bank. I have nothing,
Mohammad, to hear that number, it's staggering. We're with Mohammad Saeed. He is one of the victims of this real estate developer. The developer is called Bel-Habitat. Is that it, Mohammad? Bel-Habitat's name?
Yes, they call Bel-Habitat, yes.
Now, when did you find out that something was wrong? When did you find out that your money might be lost?
Because my transaction is pretty recent, right? Mm-hmm. It's back in April, we deposit the money, we signed the contract with him. And as soon as we gave the money to them, they're supposed to, they would tell us that we will call you and we will prepare the plan. And we never like literally heard nothing from them. Like since we deposited the money with them, they would never contact me. And I have to beg like 20 times to get a response from them. Still, I thought like probably they're busy because they would always give you impression that we are very busy. We have very successful business, So I thought probably this is the case. And then like just like last week, Tuesday, a friend of mine texted me. He knew that I bought a home from this builder, and he texted me, and it was like I was in a shock. Because I tried to contact them, and there is you cannot like you don't find no one, and this is it.
Is all the money gone? Is there any insurance that covers a portion? Is there any way?
Yes, because this is what they told us, that like they put us like under impression that these deposits it's covered by like a GCR. That's a non-profit organization. And these are covered. They cover like they guarantee like new construction. So on the contract it doesn't say an amount. So they were told that they told us that these deposits are like you have a guarantee for that. And that's why we gave so much. Because we thought it's covered, and plus the banks told us these are like reliable people. So we trusted them.
Mohammed, have you spoken to police?
I have not spoken to no one. I have not spoken to no one until now.
Mm-hmm. How are you feeling, Mohammed?
I'm feeling sad, not just for me, for everyone involved. Just trying to assess the situation. Just trying to see, what could be done. On our side. So one thing like at a time for now. Just trying to see, trying to explore like all the avenues that we can take, because we do not have any choice. They didn't leave us with any choice.
Mohammed,
whatever we have built, whatever we had, it's gone.
Mohammed, I hear you've made, you talked about the number of hours you work, but you make a lot of sacrifices for your family. I've been told that you sleep on the floor of your current place so your kids can have a bed.
Yes, exactly. Because I live in a small place, and you work you can imagine, you work like 13, 14 hours a day, and then you go sleep on the floor, So thinking that someday, you're going to have, your time is going to come, And then someone just scam you like that, and then what I feel now, there are laws to protect him. There is no protection for consumers like me. The people who work hard. So there should be laws that there should be safeguards. That protect consumers in the future.
Mohammed, I'm so livid to hear a story like this. I'm so upset for you. I can't imagine what you're going through, to have worked so hard in order to provide a better future for your family, and one person or one company decides to take advantage of not just you but 100 other families in Laval. I find it despicable. My heart goes out to you. And I hope there's a resolution here. I hope there's a way where you and the other families involved here can get at least some of the money back. Thanks for coming on the show, Mohammed.
Yeah, thank you. And imagine even if some miracle happens, the people are able to recover their losses. And imagine the trauma we are facing like every day. We are going through, everyone, that's going to last with us probably forever, And someone should be held accountable, the banks or GCR, who are doing business with them. And now we find out they sold us land that doesn't belong to them. They have mortgages on those lands owned by third parties, So someone should be held accountable,
Well, hearing this story of this company, Bel-Habitat, it's enraging. Mohammed, listen, we'll keep in touch. We'll try and get an update. Stay strong. I know you're a strong person with all you've been doing for your family over the last few years. Stay strong, and I'm seeing our listeners here. They're sending me notes, and they feel for you, Mohammed.
Thank you very much for your concern, sir. Thank you.
That's Mohammad
Thank
Saeed. Saeed. He's one of the victims of this incredible scam. It appears in Laval with 100 families getting duped by a real estate developer. Terrible story there.